Because I now have a microphone attached to my headset, I can finally put my microphone inside my mouth.
Hello all. I want you to do me a solid. I want you to take the time out of your day to share this content with a new player. I'm not here to ask you to leave likes on my videos, to subscribe, to comment, or join a Discord server. I'm here to share information. This game has a very steep learning curve, and it's really unfair to the new guys. Now, I can't get this information to every newbie on the platform or every veteran returning from TNF, but that's not going to stop me from trying. And that's where I need your help. So please, take the time to share this with a new player. Okay, on to things. Because Laz likes to fiddle around with gun damage and weapon functionality, 3/4 of the weapons we covered already now have entirely different stats. I'll admit, some of them are more balanced than they used to be, but still, things changed, and so we've got to make a new gunpowder weapons video. Just like last time, we'll start with the little guns and work our way up.
Quick disclaimer before we begin. It is important to remember that gun stats change with every update, and if you are watching this sometime in the future, these stats are probably different than what the current game has. However, they are correct upon date of recording. Additionally, gun reload speeds are calculated with munition patches equipped. If you do not have a munition patch equipped, your reload speed will be increased by 2 seconds.
The smallest gun on the frontier and one of 2 secondary weapons is the Sharp pistol. Now, Mr. Sharp here does 50 damage and can be reloaded in 10 seconds. He can be crafted at the St. Paul Anvil or purchased in the smithing shop for £45. Slightly larger than the Sharp pistol and the second of our 2 secondaries is the Prussian cavalry pistol. These deal 60 damage, are more accurate than the Sharp, and have to be claimed as a Tier 1 smithing unlock. Complete enough smithing contracts and you can very easily accrue a bunch of these. Prussian cavalry pistols have 10.5 second reloads. We now move up to our primaries, specifically the carbines. First up is the Carbine Model 1793. This gun is essentially the Sharp pistol, but as a primary. It has the same 50 damage and the same 10-second reload as Mr. Sharp somehow, doing so with a larger barrel and a much longer ramrod. I'm not sure how the math works out there, but either way, this gun is bad. The Carbine Model 1793 can be unlocked at the bounty board if you claim 6 bounties. Once you do so, it becomes available as a Tier 1 reward. The second carbine we have to cover is the British variant, the Brown Bess Carbine. The Brown Bess Carbine looks a lot like a baby Springfield, and that's how it got its nickname, but I personally like to refer to it as the BBC. Now, unfortunately, the BBC is not big or black, and it doesn't even do that much damage. Its stats are identical to the other carbine, dealing 50 with a 10-second reload. BBCs can only be claimed by HBC members who get them free from the quartermaster. Next up are the muskets. They, unlike carbines and rifles, can actually mount bayonets, which are melees that deal 50 damage per swing. Keep in mind, though, all equipped bayonets decrease the accuracy of the guns they are equipped on. So the first of the 3 muskets is the jezail. This musket can be crafted at the St. Paul Anvil or just purchased outright for something like £75. Jezail muskets do 60 damage and take 11.5 seconds to reload. After the jezail comes the Brown Bess musket. This one deals 70 damage and reloads in another 11.5 seconds. Just like the Brown Bess carbine, the Brown Bess musket can only be claimed by HBC at the quartermaster. These weapons are not craftable, they are HBC exclusives. If you want one, you have to take it off the body of an HBC member. And then the final entry in the musket category is the 1795 Springfield musket. The Springfield is the most accurate of all the guns we've covered so far. It deals 70 damage and reloads in that same 11.5 seconds. Springfields can only be crafted with master smithing at an anvil. Like a couple other guns on this list, however, they are actually purchasable at St. Paul, but for whatever reason they are never in stock, so stick to crafting them at an anvil. Now we've got a weird gun, the blunderbuss. It doesn't really fit into a category, but it's kind of the same size as rifles and muskets, so I just slipped it in here. The blunderbuss fires 5 shots, dealing 20 damage each for a collective total of 100 damage. Keep in mind, though, that's only if every part of your 5-shot spread hits the target. It's basically a Northwind shotgun. For blunders to be effective, you have to be very close to the thing you're shooting. It fills a niche role in the community, but it's kind of useless at medium and long range. The blunderbuss reloads in 13.25 seconds, and it can be crafted at St. Paul Anvil or just purchased for like £80. If you look at the crosshair, it's pretty much the size of a Northwind character at the range you're supposed to be at, so pretty easy to line up your shots. We now move on to rifles, of which there are 3. First up and longest gun in the game is the Kentucky rifle. Although it is ridiculously long and sporting a rifle barrel, it has relatively little power. The Kent only deals 65 damage per shot. In combat, you'd be better off with a Springfield or a Bess musket. The Kent reloads in a medium 13.25 seconds and must be crafted with master smithing at the St. Paul anvil. Keep in mind though, while all rifles cannot mount bayonets, they are the most accurate guns in the game. If you want to get into precision shooting, I suggest you stick to these next entries. The next gun we'll cover is my personal rifle of choice, the Jaeger rifle. These are shorter than Kentucky's, but somehow more accurate, dealing 70 damage and using the same 13.25 second reload time. The Jaeger is a Tier 1 den/criminal warehouse unlock. You can get one by turning in 4 crates to the den, and you have to get those crates from the criminal warehouse. As of last update, Jaegers are now my go-to long-range weapon. If you haven't yet, I suggest trying one of these out. They're very much worth it. And then last, but certainly not least, comes the infamous jezail musket. Its name has musket in it, but it's really more of a rifle. This monster does 90 damage and has the most accurate firing of any gun in the game. The damage and accuracy do come at a cost, though. Jezails take 20 seconds to reload and cost a whopping 600 to insure daily. Because they cost so much to insure, I rarely use jezails and stick to the Jaeger. The only way to get a jezail is through treasure chest hunting. My sources say the chance of getting a jezail after turning in a treasure chest is around 5%. However, that is totally unconfirmed, so take that with a grain of salt. Either way, it's a very rare occurrence, but if you get one, you are one lucky ducky. We're going to sign off in Val Duquette's fur market here. She sold me a ton of furs and valuables in the last couple days, and I personally consider her to be a friend. If you ever see a group of market stands set up like this, headed by a couple of females with long black hair, take a look. You might find something you like. Until next time, folks.